He never planned to hitchhike. It was supposed to be a quiet solo road trip, Denver to Salt Lake City. No crowds, no noise, just him and his thoughts. But when Daniel's old Jeep broke down on a deserted Utah highway, his phone went dead, and the sky began to darken with storm clouds, he had no choice. He stood by the road for nearly an hour, watching cars zoom past without a second glance. Just as he began to lose hope, an old red pickup truck came to a slow stop. The man behind the wheel looked to be in his late 60s. His skin was worn like cracked leather, glasses thick, and voice oddly gentle. "You need a lift, son?" he asked. Daniel nodded, grateful. After a short exchange, he climbed in. The man introduced himself as Harlan, said he and his wife lived just a few miles ahead in an old farmhouse. When Daniel mentioned he had nowhere to stay, Harlan smiled. "You're welcome to spend the night. We don't get much company these days." It felt harmless, kind even. Daniel agreed. They drove through dense woods until they reached a crooked gravel path. At the end stood a creaky 2-story house, weathered wood, slanted porch, and windows that seemed to blink. On the porch sat an old woman, knitting something red. She looked up and smiled, but her eyes didn't. "This here's my wife, Maureen," Harlan said. "Come on in. We'll get you set up in the guest room." Inside, the house smelled like dust, lavender, and something faintly metallic. The walls were lined with old clocks, dozens of them, ticking, ticking, ticking. Dinner was oddly quiet. Maureen didn't speak. She just stared. Harlan served stew, but neither of them ate. Daniel did, out of politeness. Later, Harlan led him upstairs to a small guest room. Floral wallpaper, a single bed with a hand-stitched quilt, and in the corner, a rocking chair that creaked ever so gently, though the windows were closed. "Sleep well," Harlan said, and shut the door. Daniel lay down, drained, but the clocks upstairs ticked louder, and beneath them, another sound, a dragging sound, slow, deliberate, like bare feet across a wooden floor. He sat up, listening. Silence. Then knock, knock, knock. From the other side of the wall, Daniel's skin tingled. He pressed his ear against the wallpaper. He heard scratching, software intentional. He whispered, "Hello?" No response. Just one more knock, and then breathing from inside the walls. Daniel was wide awake now, his breath quickened, heart pounding. He moved slowly toward the window. Outside, nothing but blackness. No streetlights, no moon, just silent farmland under an ink-dark sky. He reached for the light switch. Click! The bulb flickered, then burst. The room went pitch dark. In the silence, the rocking chair began to move again, but this time it rocked harder. Daniel turned on his flashlight, trembling. The chair was empty, but in the thick layer of dust on the seat, there were bare footprints. Human footprints. He stepped back, eyes darting. He ran to the door, tried the knob, locked from the inside. Behind him, more scratching, louder, closer, coming from inside the wall. He turned his torch to the wallpaper. It was peeling slightly near the baseboard. He crouched, pulled it aside, and found no drywall behind it. Instead, there were bricks, old, blackened bricks. He reached in. Cold air spilled out, and a rotten stench like wet meat and rust. Then the door creaked. It opened on its own. Down the hallway, dim red light spilled from a single lantern, and standing in the hallway was Maureen, her eyes wide, unblinking, her body utterly still. "You okay?" Daniel whispered. She turned her head slowly, unnaturally, as if her neck was tied with string. She said nothing, just turned and floated down the hallway. Not walked, floated. Her feet weren't touching the floor. Daniel followed. He didn't know why. His body moved before his mind could stop him. Maureen led him to a wooden door at the end of the hallway. The basement. It creaked open, revealing a staircase that descended into a foul, wet, rotting smell wafted upward. Daniel hesitated. Then he heard it again. Breathing, not his own. Something was down there. He stepped down slowly, heart pounding louder than the creaking stairs. The basement was cold, unnaturally so. The walls were slick, as though they had bled. The dirt floor pulsed with dampness, and in every shadow Daniel imagined eyes watching him. On one wall he noticed faded old newspapers pasted to the bricks. One headline made his blood run cold. Elderly couple missing from Hill House. No traces found. Beneath it, an old photo of Harlan and Maureen. No, Daniel whispered. They're dead. Just then a voice behind him. You came on your own. We didn't force you. Daniel turned. Harlan, but not as before. His eyes were hollow voids, pitch black. His face was charred, melting. Smoke coiled off his skin like he had been burned alive. This house is hungry, boy, he rasped. One soul, each year. It keeps us bound, not quite dead, not quite alive. In the corner, Maureen stood, crying blood. Daniel stumbled back. Suddenly, the walls groaned, and bones, real human bones, began crawling from the brick. They assembled, twisting and cracking, into the shape of a tall, faceless creature, its eyes burning white. That is the soul of the house, Harlan said in a voice like stone breaking. We fed it. Now it feeds on us. Daniel ran to the door, but it slammed shut. He was trapped. The creature crept forward, soundless, heavy. Daniel grabbed a rusty pipe and screamed, swinging wildly, but the pipe disintegrated in mid-air. The creature stopped inches away. He could see its skin wasn't skin, but old wallpaper, stitched together with human hair. Its eyes flared. Daniel's own eyes widened and began to glow. In morning, the house was quiet. The storm had passed. A new red truck pulled into the driveway. Another traveler stepped out, rain-drenched and tired. At the porch stood a young man, smiling kindly. Name's Daniel, he said. You need a place to stay? Not every road leads to safety. Not every smile hides kindness. And sometimes the places we run to